Be ready. 15 seconds to go. 5 seconds to go. Mr. Deputy Chairman, I understand the difficulty of the Honorable Law Minister in sponsoring a motion of this kind because actually it relates to certain subjects which are not in his charge. Yet I do not think how he can get away from it. That is my difficulty because, after all, he has come here with an amending bill and he has asked us to invest the government with certain powers which, according to the High Court of Calcutta, the government does not possess, namely, the power of the government to act as the buyer and compel the seller to sell to the government under the provisions of this measure. Therefore, naturally, the question arises as to how the government will function as a buyer, as a personality who buys in the market. The behavior of the government as a buyer in the food market is in question today, and that is a subject matter of discussion. I am therefore entitled to know as to how you will function because it is not merely a question of food for the people but also a question of public funds that will be placed at your disposal to buy. I would also be interested in finding out at what price you are buying and whether you are buying sufficiently. These are some of the issues for me to discuss in connection with this measure. I am not going to enter into the other aspect of the food situation. Now, sir, the judgment of the Calcutta High Court has been referred to. Yesterday, we read it in the press that the High Court has finally given its judgment holding those orders ultra vires the Constitution or whatever it is. Anyway, this bill empowers the government of West Bengal to buy. Now I will cite how this thing arose. On the 28th August last, the government of West Bengal carried out certain raids on certain rice mills in Calcutta, in and around Calcutta, about 40 of them, and they secured about 20,000 tons of rice. Naturally, they wanted to buy under the Essential Commodities Act. Their action was questioned by the rice mills. Now, out of this, the whole controversy has arisen, and this bill also relates to that aspect of the matter. Now, the position seems to be like this. Here, I would not mind if the government have this power. I regret somewhat that we could not have our national language included in this list. In fact, whenever the question comes up for recording and propagating international contracts, The claim of the Indian national language is not recognized. I do not know whether the case is not pressed or whether it just goes by default. On the other hand, it is a matter of congratulation that India is a member of the 22-member International Committee, the first committee which will be set up in respect of this convention. I agree with Dr. Shrimali when he says that by and large, some of the countries that are not yet signatories to this convention will eventually come within this convention and be signatories to this and also achieve the ratification that is necessary for the purpose. It is the most obvious thing to do, and I hope this House will recommend its ratification without any demand. Mr. Deputy Chairman, the motion for ratification has not come a day too soon. Those of us who had to work on the select committee on the copyright bill have had to scan the provisions of this convention, and we benefited a great deal by studying the provisions of this convention, and we also tried to secure the best advantage of our language writers in this respect. Now, sir, today, by ratifying this convention, it is obviously clear that we are undertaking a very important international commitment. It has been said, I believe, in the other house in this respect that with its long and ancient cultural heritage, with its great past literature in the ancient languages, India will have much to give, and therefore India stands to gain. But, sir, one aspect of the thing which is not generally probably realized is that today the Indian languages are on the eve of a very major development. We have accepted Hindi as our national language. The regional languages as well are going to be developed in a very large way. The major problem today is of technical books, and as such, we will have very much to take from as many as three countries from the literature of three countries who are not parties to the Berne Convention but have joined the Universal Copyright Convention, namely the German Federal Republic, Japan, and the United States of America.